Shark Media.
Welcome back to TV in the Basement, your dungeon for all things fantasy, horror, and drama. I'm your host, Journey Joe Mitchell, and today we're continuing our deep dive into HBO's Game of Thrones with a look at the show's second season. Based on A Clash of Kings, the second novel in George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series, Game of Thrones' second season premiered in April 2012 and continued the story of the power struggles and conflicts that erupted in the wake of King Robert Baratheon's death. With the Seven Kingdoms divided and new players entering the game, the stage was set for an even more explosive and unpredictable chapter in the saga. One of the main storylines of the season revolves around the War of the Five Kings, a massive conflict that engulfs Westeros as various factions vie for control of the Iron Throne. At the center of this conflict is the newly crowned King Joffrey Baratheon, played with gleeful sadism by Jack Gleeson, whose cruelty and instability threaten to tear the realm apart. Meanwhile, his uncle Stannis Baratheon, played by Stephen Delane, declares himself the rightful king and begins to gather his forces for an assault on King's Landing, setting the stage for a climactic showdown. Another major storyline of the season follows Tyrion Lannister, played once again by Peter Dinklage, as he takes on the role of Hand of the King and tries to rein in Joffrey's worst impulses while also defending the city against Stannis' attack. Dinklage's performance is a standout, capturing Tyrion's wit, intelligence, and surprising depth of character as he navigates the treacherous waters of King's Landing politics. Elsewhere in Westeros, Robb Stark, played by Richard Madden, continues his war against the Lannisters, scoring a series of victories but also facing new challenges and setbacks. Jon Snow, meanwhile, ventures beyond the wall with the Night's Watch and encounters the Wildlings, a fierce and independent people who live in the far north. And Daenerys Targaryen, having emerged from the flames with her 3 baby dragons at the end of Season 1, begins her journey to reclaim her birthright and build an army to take back the Iron Throne. One of the strengths of Game of Thrones' second season is the way it expands the scope and scale of the story, introducing new characters and locations while also deepening our understanding of the existing ones. The show's world-building continues to be a highlight, with stunning production design and visual effects that bring the various regions and cultures of Westeros and Essos to vivid life. The season also features some of the most memorable and iconic moments in the show's history, from the shocking revelation of Joffrey's true parentage to the epic Battle of the Blackwater, a massive and technically impressive sequence that showcases the show's ability to deliver thrilling and cinematic action on a TV budget. Other standout moments include Tyrion's rousing speech before the battle, Daenerys' visit to the House of the Undying, and the introduction of the fan-favorite character Brienne of Tarth, played by Gwendoline Christie. However, the season is not without its controversies and criticisms. One of the most talked-about moments is the scene in which Joffrey orders his guards to beat and humiliate Sansa Stark, played by Sophie Turner, in front of the entire court. The scene is difficult to watch and has been criticized by some as an unnecessary and gratuitous depiction of violence against women. Others, however, have argued that the scene is an important part of Sansa's character arc, showing the trauma and abuse she endures at the hands of the Lannisters. Another controversial moment in the season is the depiction of the Wildlings, particularly the character of Ygritte, played by Rose Leslie. Some viewers and critics have argued that the show's portrayal of the Wildlings relies on harmful stereotypes and cliches about indigenous peoples, while others have praised the show for its nuanced and respectful depiction of a complex and misunderstood culture. Despite these controversies, Game of Thrones' second season was another critical and commercial success for the show, earning widespread acclaim and numerous awards and accolades. The season won 6 Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Drama Series and Outstanding Supporting Actor for Peter Dinklage, and cemented the show's status as a cultural phenomenon. The season's most memorable episodes include The North Remembers, which sets the stage for the conflicts to come, Blackwater, which features the epic battle sequence, and Valar Morghulis, the season finale that ends with a series of shocking twists and turns that leave viewers on the edge of their seats. Looking back on Game of Thrones' second season, it's clear that the show was continuing to push the boundaries of what was possible in television fantasy. By expanding the scope and scale of the story, introducing new characters and locations, and delivering some of the most memorable and iconic moments in the show's history, Season 2 solidified Game of Thrones' status as a true cultural touchstone. At the same time, the season also grappled with some of the most complex and challenging themes and ideas in the series, from the nature of power and the corrupting influence of violence to the ways in which trauma and abuse can shape and transform individuals and societies. Through its nuanced and often unflinching portrayal of these themes, Game of Thrones challenged viewers to confront the darker aspects of human nature and the consequences of our actions. As we move into the later seasons of the show, it's interesting to see how many of the seeds planted in Season 2 will continue to grow and bear fruit. From the rise of Daenerys Targaryen as a powerful and transformative leader to the looming threat of the White Walkers and the Army of the Dead, the themes and storylines introduced in this season will continue to shape and define the series as a whole. But perhaps the most enduring legacy of Game of Thrones' second season is the way it solidified the show's place in the pantheon of great television drama. By combining the epic scope and world-building of fantasy with the complex characters and themes of prestige TV, Game of Thrones proved that genre fiction could be just as smart, sophisticated, and emotionally resonant as any other form of storytelling. And in doing so, it paved the way for a new era of ambitious and boundary-pushing television that continues to this day. So what did you think of Game of Thrones' second season? Did it live up to the promise of the first, or did it leave you wanting more? What were your favorite moments, characters, and storylines, and what do you think the show's legacy will be in the years and decades to come? For TV in the Basement, this is Journey Joe Mitchell signing off. Until next time, keep watching the skies, the screens, and your own backs, because in the Game of Thrones, you win or you die, and the stakes only get higher from here. Thank you for listening.